Welcome back to the channel. We have a quick tutorial here on how to solder copper fittings. I have two shower valves here. This one in my hand I've already completed, but I'm going to review a few things on how to make a great solder connection. Let's get into it. So we have a section of copper pipe here, and what we're going to do is we're going to prepare it to solder to the shower valve. So I have a reaming tool in my hand, and we're going to run the reaming tool inside the pipe to remove any burrs. And we want to remove the burrs, that way it'll reduce cavitation and help improve water flow through the pipe. Alright, and as you can see here, we have quite an accumulation of copper burrs from inside. So we want to get rid of that. Let's toss it over here. Alright, so what we're going to do next is we're going to apply some flux to the copper pipe. We're going to just apply it nice and sparingly, make sure it's even, and we're just going to brush it on there nice and solid, and then we'll apply it over here to the shower valve. And the reason we do this is so that way the pipe doesn't oxidize. If we apply too much heat, then the copper will start oxidizing and it won't accept any solder. So we want to make sure we apply it nice and smoothly on the pipe. Next, we're going to apply some flux to the fitting. Let's make sure it doesn't get all gunked up in there. And then we can stick the fitting and the pipe together. Alright, let's fire up this torch. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to heat up this brass and the copper. But what we want to do is we want to focus mostly on the brass since it absorbs so much heat. And the idea here is that when we're heating up this brass, we want to get hot enough to where the solder flows into the joint. So we want to focus most of the heat at the brass. As we heat up this pipe, we're going to want to test the solder on the pipe to see how warm it is. So we just tap the solder on there, go back. As it draws in, we start applying the heat to the brass. Make sure we go all the way around the fitting, nice and evenly. Once we've finished all the fittings, we want to do a visual inspection to make sure the solder is evenly applied and there aren't any gaps for leaks. So we look all the way around the pipe, all the way around the shower valve, do a thorough inspection. The final step here is we want to take a damp rag and clean all the flux off of the fittings and the pipe. The flux is pretty acidic, so we want to make sure we wipe it all off and clean it all off. And you can see here it's starting to clean off pretty nice. It's starting to shine up. And the reason we want to wait for it to cool down is, one, it's easier to handle, but two, we don't want to cool the solder too fast. This concludes quick tips on how to solder copper joints. And if you found any of this interesting, leave a comment below, share it, like it, and subscribe. Thank you.